All right, welcome everyone to the season 10 playoff selection show. I am here with my co-host Kyle Qualls. Qualls, it is one of the best times of the year. How excited are you for the season 10 playoffs?
I'm so excited that I flew to Aruba and put on these women's sunglasses in anticipation. You can see the Caribbean Sea in the background, except you probably can't because it's nighttime. But the excitement is tangible.
Well, I'm glad you're living your best life. But before we get to the playoff bracket, we are first going to go through the season 10 award winners. So congrats to everyone who is going to win one of these awards. First, we have the all Ocho teams. First up, the first team is myself, Justin, and Alex. The second team is Fa, Towns, and Surya, so two Hypnotoads in the second team. The third team is Rishav in his final season in the league, Petey, and Spencer. And then moving on to the actual awards, we have the Bonnie's NIL Collective as rookies winning the Don't Blow It award as a result of their massive entertainment value and commitment to the league. Niche of the year is AP Art History once again. Um, Alex is the niche player of the year. Rolly won Rookie of the Year. There was actually a three-way tie for that award, but he had the most individual points, so that's what we used as a tiebreaker. Max Chase, most improved for the Night Pandas. Max, I think, two 8+ point games this year, which is crazy. Coop from the Pet Clinic has won second man of the year, so congrats to him. And last but not least, we have Justin from Night Pandas as the MVP, his first MVP award. I believe he came in second in voting last year, and now he is taking the prize home. So congrats to everyone. Qualls, do you have any thoughts on these awards before we move into the playoff show?
Yeah, I think Bonnies were obviously well deserving, being I think by far the most entertaining team in the league, bringing the most Ocho spirit to the league. Detroiters got snubbed for niche of the year, full stop. Alex obviously has multiple great niches, so it makes sense that he would be niche player of the year. Rookie of the year is interesting. I think the Bonnie sub Michael, I believe,
Mhm.
I think is responsible for many of those points. And I think Raleigh, in fact, I think if you take that out, I think Raleigh would in fact average the least of the three in terms of points per game. So that's kind of ironic. Max obviously very much improved, huge part of getting the Night Pandas to being kind of the team that they are today as opposed to last year. And then of course Justin obviously kind of leading the way for them for uh, they, the fifth in the final standings with the way the division's laid out, but they were within a hair of being the number one overall seed, so they were a very good team all throughout.
Yep, yep. I agree with all those sentiments. So again, congrats to all these individuals. And now we'll get on to the important matter at hand, which is the selection show for the season 10 playoffs. So first we have the division winners, the Scarlet Knights, Lick My Qualls, the Hypnotoads, and Hive Mind. So those four teams in that order were able to pick their opponent, and their options were the Night Pandas, the Chicken Hawks, Frankchester United, and Herb Street and Vic's Pet Clinic. So those are the potential options for those four division winners. Um, the round one hosts are myself, Qualls, Leaf, and Steven and Andrew. So you can be prepared to play one of their games. I guess maybe Leaf won't host his own game, but he's making a game for sure. So, without further ado, we will get right into it. The first region that we are going to announce is the Finland region, which is featuring the Hypnotoads. The Hypnotoads are the 3 seed. Um, so the Hypnotoads had third choice in their opponent, and I can confirm that this choice was made via a random coin flip because they could not decide between their third and last choices. And this coin flip has this decreed that the Hypnotoads will be playing the Chicken Hawks in the first round. So we have Hypnotoads, Chicken Hawks, Qualls. Tell me what to expect from this matchup.
I expect that we will not be getting Hive Mind versus Chicken Hawks in the first round, which is what I was hoping for. Um, the so the fact that they're the 3 seed and there was a coin flip. Obviously, with the season the Night Pandas had, you would anticipate that they would be the 5 seed, though. You know, you know what they say about people who assume, and then Frank Chester and Herbstreit and Vic's Pat Clinic would be the 7 and 8 seed. Oh, it's raining. Um, the This is kind of I think a matchup of juggernauts of sorts. Chickenhawks obviously didn't have the season, but they hope to at 7-7. But they're obviously a championship caliber team, as are the Hypnotoads. These are two of the franchises that have won championships in the past. So I expect some fireworks in the first round. I'm going to go inside.
Yeah, and interesting to note that you have the best niche team, I think, of all time, or close to it. I don't remember what happened in their last game, versus the Hypnotoads, who have struggled on niches this year, but are one of the best non-niche teams. So contrasting strengths there, and we'll see how that matchup shakes out. Next up, we have the She Blank on My Blank region, which of course is your number 2 seed Lick My Qualls, the defending two-time defending champions in a row? I think so. Yes. So with the 2 seed, we had the second choice, and with the second choice, we decided to, well, I guess we didn't actively decide, but we ended up with the Pet Clinic. So it'll be Lick My Qualls versus HVPC as the 2 versus 7. Qualls, are you happy with what we've received here? How do you feel?
I mean, reasonably happy. You know, Herbstreit and Vic's Pet Clinic, they got off to a great start. Um, we on paper they're one of the easier choices, but obviously Petey and you know the lineage of the Sandusky's have kind of been our kryptonite in the past. So there's always a danger there, but in general, I think we're pretty happy with what we got.
Yeah, I would agree that there will be no fear in the pet clinic walking into to Lick My Claws arena, given Petey's history of success. And the Macabros actually won against us quite often as well. So, all of those guys will not be intimidated by the 5 championship legacy of Lick My Qualls. So that's one matchup. Second to last, we have the Scissors region. This is featuring the top seed Scarlet Knights, off of their best season in team history. They were the only team to win 10 games this season, which I think might be the lowest like amount of wins for one seed in league history. So I feel like there was a lot of goodness this year. And with their first pick, so they got the pick there, and the team they decided that they wanted to disrespect the most was Frankchester United. So Scarlet Knights will be taking on Frankchester United. I don't think this is a surprise, Qualls. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, Franchester probably the most obvious choice here, but also a team that's very much capable of winning. They kind of have their bases covered with, you know, Steven, kind of the pro sports, Craig becoming a college sports sicko. Um, with, you know, kind of like the niches resetting, I think that's going to be big for Frank Chester. You know, no joke niches. And I think this is going to end up being a close game.
Yeah, yeah, I think this is a good game. Scarlet Knights do have a history of choking in the playoffs. If you remember, they were challenged by the Hypnotoads last season. They said Hypnotoads said take us. Scarlet Knights did, and then they lost to them. So I believe Scarlet Knights are still looking for their first ever playoff win in their third season. So that is something to look out for. Maybe a bit of a playoff choke artist over there. Which means, last but not least, we have the Como region, which is the 4 seed Hive Mind, and they were left with the scraps. The scraps in this case being the Night Pandas. The Night Pandas, while technically the wild card had a 9-5 record, a Hive Mind's 8-6 record, so they will go into the game with a lot of confidence. They also have the MVP Justin as well as the most improved player Max. So a lot going for the Night Pandas as they face Hive Mind in the first round.
Yeah, a bit of a tough drop for Hive Mind. I think they would have really liked to play the Chicken Hawks. Obviously, the 4 seed seems to be year after year an unenviable position to be in. You kind of obviously you're playing, you know, you're the home team. You quote unquote get to pick your opponent, but really you just end up with the best wild card team, which is often better than the 4 seed.
Mhm.
So yeah, bit of a tough draw, but I expect a good match regardless.
Agree. Okay, so with that, those are the matchups, and now we can take a look at the bracket. Here it is. So the Scarlet Knights playing Franchester United. The winner of that game will play the winner of Hive Mind and the Night Pandas. On the other side, the Hypnotoads are playing the Chicken Hawks, and the winner of that matchup will take on the winner of Lick My Qualls and the Pet Clinic. Qualls, if you had to pick one upset amongst the first round games, and let's say don't pick Night Pandas Hive Mind because Night Pandas had a better record. So out of the other three, who do you think is the most likely team to get upset?
Obviously, you can never count out the Chicken Hawks because well, I think a lot of times the regular season record is a matter of Alex's kind of interest. But once the playoffs get rolling and he locks in, you have to consider the Chicken Hawks kind of a top team in the league. So they're definitely a prime suspect.
Yeah, totally agree. With once Alex locks in, that really changes the dynamic. All right, well, that is our playoff bracket, and now we are all set to go for next week. We're looking forward to seeing everyone, and we cannot wait to crown a season 10 champion. So best of luck to all the teams, and we will see you all very soon. Good night, all.